So hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel QA Explainer. So guys, in this video I'm going to tell you about that QA environment and testing environment. So in this video I will explain about environments and what is QA environments and why it is required, different types of QA environments and environment detail. So from creating that our application to till deploying that application to server and reach that application to that end user or customer, everything I will explain in this video, guys. So let's start it. So first question is that what is environment? So guys, environment is a setup where that applications are run and behaves. So like suppose a application is there. I had one application and that is some healthcare domain or something. It has some database, it has some servers, it has some APIs, it has some backend services, it had network configuration, it had lots of logs, security services, everything it had. So all those things are entirely handled by environment. So environment, you can say it is a kind of like server or database or load balancer, DNS, everything is mixture, and log monitoring frameworks, tool, everything is mixed together and create a complete system. Now second is that why multiple environments is required. Why we can't have the two environments? One is that creation environment and then deployment environment, where that I will create my application and test it over there and directly deploy that application in production, and then people will start using it. So there are some major concerns. First concern is that customer may lose data. So why customer may lose data? Because sometimes if that our environment is got hacked or it got penetrated by some hackers or some people outside of our organizations or inside that organizations, then it is very high chance that customer data will leak. Another thing is that application may crash because sometimes that environments are not stable properly. It has some issues. If we had only one single environment, then if application got crash, that our entire business goes down. So we have financial and revenue loss as well. Then security risk is there. If some penetration happen inside that our environment with customer data lose, also we can lose our company's data as well. So that is that happening. Another is service interruption. If any services goes down, that entire application will go down. And bad user experience, if that more users are coming towards that environment, and if environment is not able to handle that properly, it's not able to balance the load properly, then it will be laggy, software will be laggy, and it will work with very slow mode or slowness. Slowness will seen, and it will affect that user's experience. That's why we need to have multiple environments. Now third is that environment flow in SDLC. So let's discuss about this one. So first is our local system. So in local system, developers are writing code, they are debugging it, they are using AI, they are doing that some code related changes. Then they push their changes to dev environment. Now dev environment is a separate environment where that all configurations are properly as per developer needs. We have proper different services, different kind of database, everything is different, and it is kind of complete kind of a production system. But the thing is that it has lower specification, and that environment is very unstable due to that certain changes, due to that bugs, due to pull up different services, distortion, different services, version changes. Then we have QA and test environment. That is the most important environment for our testing. So in this environment we are gonna run that our performance test, we are gonna run that our proper manual testing, automation script, we are running it, we are running that security validation testing, everything is running here in QA environment. So QA environment or test environment is kind of a bridge between a developer environment and production environment. It is more close or more tilted toward production environment compared to dev environment. Then we have SIT environment. So SIT environment where we are performing majorly system integration testing. So mostly we are checking that APIs, we are checking that integration between API integrations between back end and front end things, and like different kind of module flows, different kind of data flow system, everything we are checking inside SIT environment. So that's why SIT environment is called system integration testing environment. So mostly we are focusing the integration testing here. Then we have UAT environment. So UAT environment is mostly used for user acceptance testing environment. It is actually used by business analyst or some required that guy who are actually beta tester, or they're trying to check that user behaviors or those kind of purpose. It gonna use for that early testing for some pre-registered customer as well. So UAT environment is fully dedicated like production environment, and people like the business analyst people, they are giving the demo and live demo, everything they are giving that to that POC, means product or concept demo, they are giving to customer from this UAT environment only. Then we have staging and pre-prod environment. So this is the environment where that we have properly production kind of setup. It is kind of mirroring of production with less configuration. So it has everything similar to production environment. So here we are gonna perform that our last end testing before releasing that application or releasing that module to the production. Then we have a production live. So this is the production environment, and it is very secure. It has so many confidential data over there. So people are gonna check this environment, like people gonna use that our application properly. So business are running from this environment only. So this is called live environment, and it is actually used by customers. So we can't perform that any testing over there, and it is like properly like handled by company, and we can't do anything here. We can't test it, we can't merge anything directly. So this is the environment guide or environment flow of SDLC. Now let me make some more details toward that each and every environment. First is local environment. Who gonna use this environment? So answer is developers are using this environment. So for what purpose it gonna use? It gonna use for writing code purpose, run that unit testing purpose, debugging purpose. If you want to try that new idea, we will creating that new branch and then deploy that branch over there. And like example, we can say like ID, our VS Code, then Eclipse. Those things are actually a proper example. So here we're gonna use Node, Python, Java with different kind of libraries we are using. We can create our own libraries, own function, everything is used under this local environment. So local environment is like our laptop. It is our laptop is called local environment. Then we have dev environment, that is also used by developer purpose is that code integration. We have to check that initial level of testing, so it is initial testing thing. Then we are build that verification model over here, and then we are checking the dependencies between that applications and modules. So mostly it is like a unstable, because that lots of developers are push their code here, and it has lots of bugs inside this environment. Then we have test and QA environment, mostly used by QA team, application engineers, and manual testers. So here purpose is that we are gonna perform here functional testing, check the functionality of the application, checking the regression testing. We're checking the regression means like regression scenarios here. We're checking that older features are properly working or not. Then we are using API testing over here, checking that APIs are working proper or not. Then we are performing that automation script over here, checking that automation pass rate over here. Then we have performance and sanity testing. So for that we are using different kind of tools like JMeter, K6, NeoLoad. So checking that load handling of that our application, APIs, response time, everything we are checking with performance testing. Then we are logging the bug, and we are again retesting. Every testing scenarios happen inside this QA environment. Then we have SIT environment. Who gonna use that SIT environment? It is a used by QA and dev. Mostly you checking that communication between the multiple systems, multiple modules, checking the data flows, checking that end-to-end integration, checking that interface testing if we are gonna use that any interface, or suppose we are changing that entire interface of that our application, then we are perform the testing over here. Then we have UAT. So UAT mostly used by business analyst team, client, and users. Sometimes we testers also are using that UAT environment as we are gonna test that full end-to-end functional flow. So here we are validating that our business requirement, we are checking that workflows, we are checking that business rule verification, we are checking that user acceptance, everything we are using inside that UAT environment. Then we have staging and pre-prod environment. So staging and pre-prod environment, it is a used by QA and release team. So release team, they are actually perform their release level testing over here, and also we are QA, we are also testing that some bugs over here, that bugs are present or not, some critical things we are testing over here. So mostly it is actually similar kind of thing to production, and this environment also used for giving that POC to that client or customer, we are performing here the final testing and smoke testing, regression testing, some deployment validation testing, those things we are performing here. And then we have production. So production mostly used by real customer or end user. So main purpose is that to live business 24 into 7 monitoring, high availability. So here no testing, and we are not doing no debugging, we are only that monitoring, and we are getting alerts, that's all. So these all are details of each and every environment. Then I'm coming to database strategy. So database strategy, so first that we have dev database, then we have QA database, then UAT database, then staging, then prod database. So each and every environment has their own separate database. Why it is required? Because that every database actually handles that some user data. Like developer environment, they are using some different kind of user data that is totally dummy and fake data. QA environment, we are using nearly genuine, but it is also a fake data. Then UAT, we are using sometimes that similar proper data, but it is you actually a fake data, but it is totally similar to client data. Then we are using staging environment. Sometimes client also using this environment to check their product and pre-access everything. So sometimes here data are authenticate. And then prod data is fully authenticate data. So so all that's why all that environments has their own separate database. Now comes under configuration management. So every environment has their own different configuration. So like URLs, database, user credential, API keys, feature flag, certificates, third party keys, everything configuration are different. So suppose in dev environment, we have different domain like dev.myapp.com, and then QA, we have qa.myapp.com, or sometimes that .com domain is not available, then we have different like .in, .net, some different kind of domains we has. Sometimes we don't have domain itself, we have directly on IP address, we are hitting that IP address and testing it. Then we have UAT environment. UAT environment is that different domain. Then staging environment, staging has their different domain. Production is proper domain, it is a www.myapp.com or something that proper, we are seeing that lively in that internet, that is like a proper production domain. Then we have microservices and pods. So this thing is a pretty common nowadays, and microservice example is like user service, authentication service, order services, payment services, notification services, then inventory services, report services. Every services are actually handled by microservices. And pod is like, it's a smallest deployment unit in Kubernetes. So pod, you can say it is like a container, and then that container means like it actually handle one proper service in one pod. So multiple pod means like it has more user, more adaptability, more load distribution. If one pod fails, that another pods will continue that its services. So and that more pods actually connected by load balancer, and then load balancer is connected by database. That's how we are distributing the loads. And while doing that performance testing, we are checking that pods availability. Sometimes we are running that our automation test scripts inside pods also to check that pods like reliability and everything. So here we have types of testing in different environments. Like functional testing, we are doing in local, dev environment, QA environment, SDET environment, UAT environment, staging, but we are not doing any kind of testing in production environment. Regression testing, we are also doing that all environment except production environment. Integration testing, we are not doing in local and production environment. And under the dev to till staging environment, we are doing integration testing. Performance testing, we are not doing local and dev environment, but from QA to till pre-pod we are doing their performance testing. Security testing, we are started from QA and complete till pre-prod. And sometimes that SIT we are not doing, but it is optional. Mostly in SIT we are not doing, but sometimes we are checking that API's credibility. So for that we are using that security testing. UAT, mostly we are checking in UAT and staging and pre-pod environment. Smoke testing, we are checking on local, dev and QA environment. And other environment also we are checking SIT, UAT, staging and pre-pod. And production environment also we are checking, but it is not recommended at all. Now we have some best practices in for that this environment. So first thing is that all environments need to be similar, but it never happened. Like environment similarities never happened inside that any company, but ideally it should be similar, so we can get to know that we can handle that bugs very easily. Then production data we never use inside the lower environment. We are maintaining the separate credential for each and every environments, and it is actually followed everywhere. And for environment specific, we have different configuration files that is handled by DevOps team or handled by deployment team. We are monitoring all environments. Every environment has their own logs, own alert, own performance system and performance metrics. Then we are actually following that proper change management process if you gonna want to change our environment. And we have documented everything, every environment details from setup to till that issues, changes, everything we are documenting for every environment. And we are regularly replacing that our environments like U environments, dev environments, that thing. Now let me tell some other common environment. First is POC environment, means proof of concept environment or product of concept environment. So these POC environments I have seen, like some companies had, some companies not had. So POC environment is like a validating a new idea and technology. Here we are doing some small demo, some small prototype we are creating, some hackathon project we are deploying over here. So this is called POC environment. So POC mostly is an environment where that features gonna implemented in future releases or in future. Then we have sandbox environment, that is a totally safe box environment when we are trying to perform some security violation testing or some penetration testing, some hacking related attack we are gonna mimic. We are then we are gonna use this sandbox environment. Then we have performance and load balancing environment. Some companies had that separate environment for that, but most of the companies are actually using QA environment as in performance environment. So here we are performing the load testing, stress testing, spike testing. So we are using different kind of tools over here. Then we have DR. So DR means like it is a backup environment. It is a disaster recovery environment. Most of that companies had actually. So if any environments got crash or if production got failed, suddenly these DR environments will activated and it will handle that all loads. Then we have training environment, that is actually used for giving that demos and to teaching that new joiners or to learn that our application related things. So that is called training environment, or we are saying teaching environment as well. So here I am showing that real project flow. in general. So first, developers write code in their local, they need push via Git or GitHub, they need gonna pull from Jenkins pipeline or GHA GitHub action pipeline, they need to deploy in dev environment, then we are performing QA testing. So there we are logging that bug and it got fixed, then we are moving to SIT testing environment, we are performing SIT testing over there, then we have to do that UAT testing, then we are deploying to pre-pod or staging, and then we are running that smoke test and sanity, and then it will directly goes to production. So it is kind of real project flow. Now, environment promotion criteria. So all that test environment promotion criteria means like how that we gonna validate that our environment is proper. So all that test case should be passed, but it never happen ideally. But in ideal situation it should be passed, all test case should be passed, no critical or major defects should be open, code need to be reviewed and approved properly, and performance test results should be okay, and security scan also need to be passed, and then business sign off received, and deployment checklist should be complete. So these all are some environment promotion criteria. Then we has key takeaway. So multiple environments help us to deliver that quality software to the user safely. So each and every environment has a specific purpose in SDLC. Understanding the environment flow, configuration, data strategy, and best practices is very important for every QA engineer. I hope this video is actually helpful a lot. I try to give a proper I try to consolidate a proper segregated and knowledge. I created this video. I hope this video actually gives you a proper understanding for QA environment. So if this video is helpful for you, please do comment and let me know how much good this video actually helpful or not. I try to consolidate most of the information in a single video, so that's why I use this image to explain. Now if you have any question, please do comment. I will try to give that answer, and please do subscribe, help me to grow on YouTube, and stay tuned with my channel QA Explainer, and I will see you soon in the next video. Thank you guys, thanks for watching, and have a good day.